opening of the aforementioned the inaugural AEW Women's Tag Team titles. It's the Sisters of Sin taking on Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata. Now, before we get into this match, RL, it's announced at the top of the match that Penelope Ford is injured and no longer in the tournament. I have written down here, this is great news. I don't even know who's replacing her yet. Not good news in terms of the injury, obviously. Wishing for the best for Penelope Ford, but I mean for this tournament. And also, there was no way she wasn't injured off that moonsault last week. There's no...
That's what Tony Schiavone said. He was like, you got hurt on that moonsault. It's like, yeah, I watched that. There's no human is not getting hurt doing that.
You can't have... Darby Allin couldn't take... Spike Dudley couldn't take that.
I'm amazed she hurt her arm on that moonsault based on where other parts of her body...
You could have told me she hurt any one of her limbs, and I'd go, yeah, obviously.
But it ended oblique. The leg that she's supposed to be landing on is too busy kicking someone in the head. Like all of her weight comes down on that arm.
She broke her foot on fucking on Athena's head or whatever.
No, I'm not surprised the arm, but the whole landing is on that arm from the top of the turnbuckle to the floor.
It's crazy.
The leg gets caught up booting someone in the noggin. Crazy spot. But I do hope for the best for Penelope Ford and hope she heals up soon. But I was excited because I thought that this presents a good opportunity for a team that could win, and we'll get into more of that in a second. I thought Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata were going to win this match. And RL, goddamn, it feels nice to be wrong about a match on Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, maybe everybody, I'm not trying to, I feel like everyone could call Dynamite at like a 75% or better.
Oh, 75 is low for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say 90, but I was like, oh, you don't want to be crazy. But you know what I mean. Very predictable show generally. I thought Hayter and Aminata were likely to end up in the finals of this tournament, or at least in a big matchup against Mercedes and Athena. But I got to tell you, I actually love the choice here for a couple of reasons to go with the Sisters of Sin. And they almost give it away on commentary that Sisters of Sin have the most tag team time and Hayter and Aminata have the least tag team time in this opening matchup. And in a tag team tournament, the team that has some history and chemistry, it should work. The people who have the least, it makes sense that they lose. But beyond that, I just like the idea of the tournament opening with an upset and like making me feel like, oh, I guess anything's live in this. Like the G1 does this every year. You fill out your G1 pick'em sheet. Like, I feel pretty good about this. In the first round, you're like, well, I have no fucking idea what's going on ever. And I kind of got that feeling here. So before we talk about the match, what do you think about the decision to go with the sisters here?
I feel like they kind of need it. It just really hasn't. It felt like they've been treading water for a few weeks at least these days, and now that like Tekla has kind of surpassed them, where of course like going into this you were like, well, this is Julia's faction, and now it doesn't feel that like that.
Yeah,
and I think it's notable that they needed Tekla's help to win. Like I think that evens the playing field, so to speak, in terms of like, oh, it's believable that they won because they had help. Because otherwise you would be like, well, obviously Jamie Hayter would kill both of these 92-pound women, right? Like they're not big and she is huge. And Aminata hits really hard, and they're so I too thought that they were semi-credible as the first winners of this tournament, honestly, like because I thought Tony, maybe they don't want to get her tied up with another belt, but Hayter, as a former world champion who frankly needs some rehab, seemed like someone who could get that. And Aminata's done all the work to like earn some kind of title recognition or whatever you want to say. And so like it's interesting because now it feels like anything, and especially too with Marina joining Megan Bain, that felt like, okay, well, Penelope's getting pinned in that match and that's the end of it. Now it doesn't feel that way.
Well, exactly right.
Right? So I love that now this feels like whatever. There are 6 teams that kind of make sense to win. That's pretty cool. Like I don't think Willow's winning. Willow and Harley Cameron.
Harley's
right? Like
too obvious a pin person. Yeah.
But every other team, you're like, okay, it would make sense. Like if the Sisters of Sin can beat Hayter and Aminata, they can beat anybody. It makes perfect sense, like in the storyline, that they could do it, especially if Tekla's going to help. So,
agreed. Two things as well, and I feel like you sort of grazed this, but it's just time to find out with Heart and Sky. You know,
yeah,
I feel like both of them since return have been disappointing, frankly.
yep.
But this is the time to find out. Okay, get in there with our best people. Here's Hayter and Aminata. Here's Monet and Athena. What do you have? Let's make the decision live. That sort of thing. To the match quality, I want to say that I am willing to overlook so much because there was some clunkiness in this match. I thought Julia Hart looked kind of lost at points. Even Queen Aminata, I've said this before, but I thought it was a little apparent this week that on offense she looks so good, but like as a tag wrestler and like selling, she's like standing still during some selling sequences and whatnot. But I'm willing to overlook so much if this is going to be the tag division where the rules are enforced, because this was a way more rules forward match than we get in the men's side of this by far. Now we're only one match into this tournament, but if this is going to be called like the C2 where it's a little more straight up and the rules matter, I'm thirsty for that in tag team wrestling in AEW. Yeah. So if this has to be a little looser and maybe not to some of the precision of some of the other stuff I see in AEW, I get that already. Totally tag team wrestling that actually builds to like a hot tag and you can't just get anyone from anywhere and it doesn't always devolve to just everyone doing everything. I'm ready for that. So if that's what this tag division is going to be, color me excited. I'm ready for that in AEW.
Totally. Yeah, I say it all the time. In its ideal form, I kind of prefer tag team wrestling to, like, the best tag team wrestling match to me is better than the best singles wrestling match. There's
my friend Bo's like that too. His favorite.
There's more moving parts. It's harder to pull off to a certain extent for me. And so
they're definitely like more different arts than they probably get credit for. Like wrestling a singles match and wrestling a tag match is really different in a lot of ways. Well, I mean, that's such a dumb guy thing to say, but like when you sit around and you like hear wrestlers,
the mechanics of it, you mean? Yeah,
yes. The actual skill set involved in laying out the match is very separate. One more question on this match, RL. Is Tekla great? When she came out for the spear,
yeah, she's kind of sick, man.
I was kind of like, hang on, is Tekla kind of, because I guess they're going to continue her and Jamie, which I'm a little surprised by after this, but I kind of feel like if they're going to give Tekla her win back and then move her up card to Chris Statlander, I'd be very interested to see how that matchup went, and it should be a nice defense for Chris.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
And then we move on to the announcement. Penelope Ford is backstage with Megan Bayne. I thought she actually came across as like so many wrestlers. I think Ryan will back me up here. Said about Bret Hart so often that, you know, you give them something meaningful to talk about and they can sort of come alive on the mic maybe better than before. I thought you saw a little of that of Penelope Ford tonight, talking about tearing her UCL. Thank you, RL UCL. And I thought she came across this was some sort of great promo. You don't have to go seek this out, but it was like I felt bad for her in this moment, and you could tell that she did think that this was a big opportunity. But Megan Bayne makes it clear that she's still in this tournament, and any woman in the building who's willing to step up, come face her, and she will decide if you're worthy. And who walks into frame but the Death Riders, Marina Shafir, who goes and stands across from her. They have a moment to sort of two wolves staring at each other, a little Vanderlei and Crow Cop. And then John Moxley walks out from behind. Reminded me a little bit of his Tanahashi moment here, where like in brief, like silly Mox is so good, and I just love it. Where he sort of goes bug-eyed at these two, and he goes, "These two, look out." And I gotta say, I agree with Mox. Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir. I know we've covered this a little bit, RL. You said every team kind of has a chance of winning, but God, you have to consider these as your inaugural tag team champions. I mean, you just have to consider them at the table.
At least in terms of how they're presented, like who are the tougher women on the show than these two?
How would they lose? Even Tekla involvement would be offset by the Death Riders backup, you would think.
Wheeler Yuta out there whispering in Megan Bayne's ear, whatever. And again, that's just someone they've worked the Beyond Wrestling circuit here in New England many a time, I'm sure, together. So
I'm certain that's the case.
Yep.
And again, sort of in a Julia Hart Sky Blue way, I'm ready to put the foot on the gas and see where Marina's at. I know she's been Defy champion, but I haven't watched any of those matches. She had a singles match. Was it on Collision that I thought was kind of weak? But this is where it's going to come out in the wash, and I want to see
Yeah.
it. So excited to see the first Bane and Shafir match.
I'm with you.
Hey, thanks for checking out that video. Next step, hit follow down below. Step after that, head over to twitch.tv/wrestlingbrain. We're live every Monday and Wednesday and on pay-per-view weeks, or just when we feel like talking about wrestling. It's many more shows than that. You can hit follow over there to be alerted every time we go live. If you need even more, patreon.com/J0SHC has a free tier and a paid tier. Check those out and see if any suit you fine. We'll see you then, and like Hiroshi Tanahashi says,